So, how long have you been living in Portslade?
Well, I was born in Portslade,
Born in Portslade.
in 1938. So what's that, 70 years? Because my mother was born here, you know, and her father was born here, so we've been about a few years, you know.
Yeah. It's somewhere where it's really homely, isn't it? It's something you can call home. So it's like everybody would recognise each other around down the road or something.
And like, if you stayed here for like a long time, everyone sort of, you'd get to know other people that have been here for quite a long time.
Yeah, I agree on that. You know, whenever I'm out and about, I sort of tend to see people, and there's much more sort of a friendlier feeling, even though you don't know them well. You might not even know their name. You know, people do sort of recognise you and know where you're from, and sort of, you know, want to know how things are going and talk to you, and, you know, which I don't think you get everywhere by any means. You know.
I mean, I've come to this community because it is a community, and I want to get involved in it as a community.
So yeah, I hope that the sort of community spirit of it grows stronger, and that people have a chance to get that community spirit, and that it just goes stronger, because I think people are really missing that sense of community generally in life, and it feels like a nice opportunity to be part of that growing community, really.
The smaller the place is, the greater the sense of community, and the bigger a place is, the smaller the sense of community.
I think that the biggest mistake we ever went in when we've gone into Brighton. Yes, into Brighton. I always feel Portslade is forgotten.
Sort of on the edge, really, I feel.
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but I don't think a lot of the councillors from Brighton care as much about Portslade as they do about Brighton, the centre of Brighton, and their own area. It's very much the poor relation, or I think it is anyway. That's my opinion.
No, I don't really hear the good things. No, I haven't heard any good things in the paper about Portslade lately. No, I haven't really heard or anything about, or seen anything in the paper about Portslade about being good. Obviously there is, but I haven't seen anything.
I think it's got a bit of an unfair reputation, really. Yeah, I think it's, I think that probably does affect Portslade's self-image, really. I think it can perhaps, to some extent, see itself as being the poor relation. Which is a shame.
People think it's the end of the world, don't they? Portslade, they wouldn't come over here. I mean, Boundary Road really was a boundary at one point, wasn't it?
It was. I think it's an advantage. It's on the edge, actually, and sort of not, you know, because it's got an identity of its own, I think. Whereas if you live in the middle of Hove, you know, I mean, Hove has got some sort of, you know, it's got no real identity. You know.
I mean, in Portslade, you've got the sea. And you've got the downs. I mean, Portslade goes right up into the downs, and it's much greener. It's much. I think it is a lot safer in the city. You know, there's lots of very big positive things about it being right on the edge of the city. I think that gives the area its own kind of character.
It's got an air of mystery that Hove doesn't have. Portslade just appeared.
Portslade's a bit wacky, isn't it?
It is different. It's like a different place altogether.
It's difficult to say, really. I just love the way there's so many young families in one place together.
Do you have a favourite place?
I think down by the canal. Because the boys used to go down swimming Sunday mornings in the canal. We used to have and the boys used to go swimming, and us girls used to pinch all their clothes, and we used to put all their clothes in the ground and then run home. Oh dear, we used to always get into trouble for doing that.
Yeah. I know we have to go out to do loads of things like town or bowling and stuff, but when you come back at the end of the day, it feels like home, and you know what the area's like, where's the dangerous places and where not to go or stay away or go.
Where I live, our house is right on the top of the hill. Behind us is the Fall Down Tower. You know Fall Down Tower? Well, if you get just on the top of that hill before you start actually walking near Fall Down Tower and turn round, the view, there's so many different things in just looking at that picture. There's the fields in front of you, and every season they're different, because, you know, sometimes they're cut down, then there's wheat, and then there's the poppies. They're just so different in the seasons. And then you've got the sea in the background, and sometimes that's really rough and sometimes it's calm, and then you've got all the different buildings and the houses, and sometimes you can see people and sometimes you can't. That is my favourite place. I love it up there.